for the Lesotho Sun 400 on September the 1st and 2nd, round 5 of the ABSA Off-Road Championship. It will provide some of the best racing of the season in the production vehicle category, no doubt. The perennial battle between Nissan and Toyota in the prestigious South African Manufacturers Championship is again delicately poised, and Ford joins the two Japanese manufacturers in a head-to-head battle in the Premier Super Production class. Add to that the battles that have developed in classes D and E of the series, and then throw in a route that could give crews sleepless nights, and you have the ingredients for a great race. But it's not just all glamour. The all-new IDM Cement crew were hard at work preparing their chargers and their cars for the Botswana leg of the National Championship. Former track racer Fabio Tafani and his teammate Jaco Swanepoel will both be trotting out in their Toyotas, and we asked them how ready they were to do the Lesotho Lambada, and Fabio in particular, what kind of car he likes to drive.
Yeah, for sure. If it's got wheels and an engine, I'll drive it. My career started in 1980. I did motocross for 2 years, then had a really bad accident, so I stopped motocross. Took me about 2 years to recover from that accident, and I think about 84, 85, started doing karting. Raced 100cc internationals in those days, 125s with Derek Irving and all those guys in those days. Was nice. In 1992 or 91, I think, I took up 250cc karts, raced that up until, and actually still racing nowadays. In 2000, started racing polos and karts, and won the 250 kart championship in 2003 and 2004, and did did polos up until, I think it was the end of last year, and at the last race meeting at Kalami last year for polos, they were giving us so much grief there that I decided, no, that's it. Enough of this, and let's try something new. That's why we went to off-road.
And why did the track racer turn to the bush, and why Class E in particular?
Chose a Class E bucky. Obviously it's new. I'd never done it. I've never raced anything off-road, a rally car or an off-road bucky, nothing like that. And you know, something new. You don't want to start at the top and come and possibly destroy everything the first year. Start with the entry-level class, see what it's like. There were these vehicles available from Toyota, and we thought, well, it's a good place to start. Let's go for it.
From the track to bundu bashing, it's quite a big move. Why, we wanted to know.
Jaco and I have known each other for a long time, and like I said, at the end of last year at Kalami, I decided that was enough for me. I walked over that same day to Jaco and asked him, do you want to carry on doing this? He said, no, he's also had enough. So that's it. We went out. He got a bucky from Toyota. I got one as well. And it's been a learning curve this year, I must say. It's harder than what I thought it would be. But Jaco and I, we've got a good team going there. I think we'll carry on and see where we can go.
The IDM Cement team is obviously full of enthusiasm. We wanted to know from Jaco what makes the off-road racing such a big attraction.
It's a great amount of fun. You know, if you take a look at the distances that we cover, the events that we do, you're out in the middle of nowhere. You sometimes wonder whether someone's been on this road in the past 100 years type thing, but it's a hell of a lot of fun. It's a great adventure. And you really get, you know, value for money insofar as seat time is concerned. You spend the whole day in the car. Not one corner is the same as the next. You know, in circuit racing, it's a very clinical type sport where you've got a half a meter or a meter from an apex point the whole day long. Yeah, you've got a different corner for 400 kilometers, and it's just loads and loads of fun.
The navigator is obviously a very big part of the team. How well does he know his nav, we asked.
It's been quite a learning curve. I've known Graham Bishop for quite some time, and he's a very competent navigator. I feel sometimes I'm a little bit spoiled with him. He's young. He's a very good navigator, and we generally get on quite well. Although we do have our moments where we have arguments in the car. You know, Graham, why didn't you read this or why didn't you read that, and that type of thing. But it's really a great amount of fun. You know, insofar the rest of the team, I've got Dudley preparing the car, Graham our navigator. We've got Fabio and Mike Barron. the teammates. We've got the likes of Derek Irving assisting Fabio, and generally we've got a fair amount of depth in the team, a lot more depth insofar as maybe karting or circuit racing is concerned. But yes, it's good, and we're helping each other along, and we are quite happy, and I'm sure I speak for Fabio as well. We're quite happy with our performance to date. It's really been a steep learning curve, but yes, I think as a team we are developing, and I think by give us a little while still, we'll be enjoying it a lot more.
Toyota currently leads the Manufacturers' Championship, but strangely enough have yet to win this season. The overall wins and SP class honours have gone to Nissan with 3 wins and Ford with 1, and the long knives will be out in the Mountain Kingdom. Hannes Grobler and Francois Jordan with 2 wins, and Duncan Foss and Ralph Pitchford, winners of the recent Ford Motorrad 400, will again spearhead the proudly South African Nissan Navara Challenge, with support from privateers Mark Corbett and Jean Moore and the Century Property Development Navara. Neil Woolridge and Kenny Scholthammer will have backup from Rob Gurney and Graham Steinbach in the factory Ford Racing Rangers, and Mark Cronier and Chris Birkin and Bevan Bertholt and Robin Houghton will again carry the Castrol Toyota Hilux flag. The veterans of the sport, Woolridge and Scholthammer and Grobler and Jordan, will recall the great days of the event. Scholthammer, who also won the event on 2 wheels, and Birkin and Houghton will also recall heady and not so heady days on the roof of Africa. They will all, however, also know that simply making it to the finish line on the Lesotho Sun 400 is likely to put you in line for some silverware. The Castrol Toyota Hilux entries have suffered from reliability problems this season. They might just choose one of the toughest events of the season to spring a shock, but many of the experts will have money on Woolridge and Scholthammer. Most of the credit for Toyota's current slender lead in the Manufacturers' Championship must go to privateers in classes D and E. Crews in both these classes have come up trumps time and again, and Toyota will be looking for more of the same in Lesotho. Reigning Class E champions Chris Visser and Jaapie Baardenhorst in the Tyco Trucks Toyota Hilux, former Class E champions Higu and Jaap de Bruin in the Castrol Toyota Hilux, and the father and son pairing of Cliff and Louis Weichelt in the Bozel Toyota Hilux deal Toyota a very powerful hand in Class D. Visser and Baardenhorst have won 3 times this season and will start as the outright favourites. The Weichelts have won once, the de Bruins have shown good form in recent outings, and a close contest looks to be on the cards. The Toyota crews, however, will come under severe pressure from Nissan teams who would like to get into the winner's enclosure. Kritsia Labuskachny and Johan Gerber in the Raconics Nissan hardbody, with a 100% finish record this year, have been models of consistency, but have been unable to convert reliability into wins. The BB Auto Nissan hardbody crew, Arnold du Plessis and Johan Knox, and Yuri and Andre du Plessis have had their moments too. By and large, however, they will be disappointed with results so far this season, and Lesotho would be a great place to get their seasons back on track. In Midrand at the Nissan workshop, we asked manager Glenn Hall to explain why they put so much emphasis on their racing.
Well, the international side of our business, the motorsport business within Nissan Motorsport South Africa, is very important. It forms really 2 distinct avenues for us. One is the income stream into our budget and to maintain us into the future. So the revenue that we generate through international sales is very important to us, both for now and into the future. And of course, secondly, the technology level that we have to operate at. It keeps us on our toes, and it's a great, really, credential for South African motorsport that even in our restricted formula, we're still able to sell cars overseas. We've recently delivered a car to Sandor Kiss in Hungary, which has got a great deal of similarity to the production or super production vehicle we race here in South Africa. The suspension is identical, in the front the engine and transmission are identical, but in the rear we've chosen to make the car independent for him at his request, and Sandor wanted this, and we used all the front suspension components in the rear, so there was a lot of commonality of parts there. Now this delivery of the car to Sandor Kiss also gave us the opportunity in the recent Limpopo International race of offering him a drive in one of our old T-trucks from 2 years ago, which we had so much success with. In fact, the car that Sandor used was Hannes's car. We upgraded it to FIA international specification. with mainly the fuel system and safety aspects, which we're not required to run here in South Africa. And that gave us the opportunity for him to attempt to win that race, scored good points, and for us to earn some money out of it.
But they don't just race hard here in South Africa.
The balance of our international business as we stand today is we have a car running in Spain, which is one of the cars we built for the Dakar in 2003. That won the European Baja Championship in Europe last year. It's won 2 races already this year, and Marc Blasquez has been out here to South Africa, and we've got a continued strong business relationship with them, supplying parts. We've also about to deliver a car to Grégoire de Mavius in Belgium. He's starting a new team, and he will eventually have 2 vehicles, and he's not going to drive himself. Grégoire had quite a large accident, but is really a very big figure within international rally raid and rallying, and he will be running a team for a Polish rally champion who's driven the Dakar last year, and he's been out to test the car. He's fast, he looks very confident, and hopefully he can bring us a good result with the car in this year's Dakar. So we actually could have as many as 3 super production based vehicles on the Dakar this year, Nissan running all built here in the workshop. So that's a good future.
KwaZulu-Natal crew Manfred Schroeder and Ward Huxtable are running away with Class E in the factory diesel-powered Ford Ranger. The pair have a clear lead over a horde of Toyota crews and will be heavily favoured in Lesotho. Brian Martin and Oki Fourie in the Castrol Toyota Hilux will spearhead the Toyota Challenge, and after winning the first event of the year, will be looking for a return to form. And the man we met earlier, former track racer Fabio Tafani, accompanied by Mike Barron in the Toyota Hilux, finds himself in 2nd place in the championship. Tafani and Yaku Swanepoel, another former track racer who shares the IDM Cement Toyota Hilux entry with Graham Bishop, have an interesting experience ahead of them in Lesotho. Mark and Stuart Moffat in the Bosel Toyota Hilux are due a good result, and George and Sharon Balkhuizen in the Ruricon entry will also want to come up with 1 or 2 very good results over the racing. Apart from Schroeder and Huxtable in Class E, championship positions in the other classes are tight. Lesotho could be make or break for the other championship hopefuls. The points at the top in the production vehicles. There's only 4 points in it between Grobler and Jordan and Woolridge and Scholthammer. And there's a big chase on from the man in Class E. It's Manfred Schroeder and Ward Huxtable in the Ford Ranger. 4 events and 4 different winners in the special vehicle category in this year's ABSA Off-Road Championship give a clear indication of a high level of competition. With this in mind, the prospect of a 5th different winner on the Lesotho Sun 400, round 5 of the ABSA series in the Mountain Kingdom, is a real one. These days, the Lesotho Sun 400 is a scaled-down version of the infamous Roof of Africa rally, but even in many guise, it will provide competitors with some severe headaches. Most of them will start out thinking, all I want to do is try to get to the line. In the meantime, Gary Berthold and Henry Costain took a very popular win in the Ford Motorrad 400 in the Limpopo province, and the slogan on the car, the Atlas Copco, says, "You'll be lost without us." It was indeed a case of finding that winning touch again, and it came after some severe setbacks.
Yeah, been a tough season, been an absolutely tough season. A lot of bad luck, a lot of car breakages. Tough time getting out there, but tenacity and sheer willpower has made us endure, and we finally got there in Limpopo and put it on the podium where we wanted it to be.
In typical off-road style, Gary got done in by a friend and a drink or two too many.
Well, it's quite a funny story. In typical style, Brandon Harkis and myself were sitting at the pool at the International Motocross, and he fed me too much gin and tonic lying by the pool, and before I knew it, I'd sold my car. So I was out on my feet without a car to race, and with Atlas Copco in the background saying, "Where to from here?" So we pulled a few strings, made a few typical off-road plans, got hold of Nobles in Botswana, went over there on a Wednesday morning with a trailer behind us to bring home this Porter, and that's what we did. And we're certainly not looking back after that decision. Really a great car. This Atlas Copco Porter, I think, proved its worth at the Limpopo 400 by putting us on the first place at the podium.
The amiable Costain is a veteran of the sport.
Yeah, there's a lot of things started a long time ago. I can still remember the days when we started driving with bakkies, Ford bakkies mainly. And that days, Honors was driving a Safari, and RP had a Safari as well, and guys like Bux Carlin were there, and Schilling, and Nardus, and all the old boys. So some of them are still racing today. And there it all started. But the luck never changed actually to my way. I had a few second places, I had a few third places. I won a lot of regional championships. I think if you come to my house, you'll see there's a lot of trophies, but they actually mean nothing to me. The trophy that's the most important one is the trophies we won 2 weeks ago at Limpopo race. And all I can say, that was awesome. That was the best thing that ever happened to me in my life. And I'll have that same route over and over without stickers, without a schedule, as long as we can win it.
Careful, that can be organised. So far this season, Brandon Harkis in a single-seater motorised bat. His teammates Evan Hutchison and Akim Bergman. As well as the father and son combination of Nick and Ryan Harper in the Cartec SA bat. And of course, Gary Berthold and Henry Costain in that yellow Atlas Copco Porter have all made trips to the winner's enclosure. All 4 teams, with Harkis now joined by Masiltra 3 and a twin-seater bat, will again be contenders in Lesotho, along with half a dozen other teams. The motorcycle legend Alfie Cox and Henny Terstegen, also in a motorised bat, are due a win after 2 near misses. While the Silwood brothers, Carl Heinz and Herman, Nardus Alberts and Colin Taylor in the Rapsa bat, and, of course, Clint Gibson and Mike Brown in the Absolute bat, as well as Naim Mossaji and Rayun Badiana in the Tyrak Jimco, and reigning champions Terence Marsh and Mike Whitehouse in the National Mobile bat are all capable of winning. Marsh and Whitehouse are always absolutely consistent. Once again, a fascinating contest is on the cards between the all-out speed merchants and those crews inclined to take a more measured approach. On this event, however, the odds look to favour the latter. This brings a crew like Marsh and Whitehouse right into the reckoning. The pair have a 100% finish record this season, but are without a win. The Lesotho Sun 400 is, however, a race tailor-made for the likes of Marsh and Whitehouse. A lot of the smart money will be on the pair, but this is a race that can turn into a lottery, and anyone who makes it to the finish will, in all probability, be in contention. Much the same scenario exists in Class B, where no crew has managed to win twice this season. Off-road newcomers Jan and Hendrik Kraai in the Keymax bat currently lead the class ahead of Swaziland crew John Thompson and Clinton McNamara in a Zarko. Both crews will again be in contention, along with the Edenko bat entries of Bez Besaidnout and Johan de Bruin, and the other Johan Besaidnout and Etienne Besaidnout, Marius van Vieren and Johan Kutsia in the Bozel Zarko, as well as the veteran Giel Nel and Johan Smallberger in the Bozel Luke Truggy. Former champions Marcus Taylor and Mark de Chalane in the JRE have had a disappointing season so far and will be looking to make amends. Ernest Corbett and Warwick Goosen in the Century Property Developments bat are also due a return to form, but once again, anyone making it to the finish line will be in with a chance of taking home some solid points. Class S includes a couple of competitors who have fond and not so fond memories of the Roof of Africa. Richard Schilling is a former Roof winner, and Rob Walk a veteran of what was probably the toughest race of its kind in the world, and experience will give them an edge in this one. Reigning champion Schilling and Chris Davies in the Plastotech Aceco have won twice this year and will be the outright favourites, with the National Mobile Raceco pair of Archie Rutherford and Craig Dunkfire their biggest threat. After a maiden win on the Ford Motorrad 400, the Botswana crew Gary Gillingham and Peter van Vieren in the Shell BMW Raceco will fancy their chances, and Nick Gosler and Andre Botha in the Komponang Hotel Super Team Raceco will have experience going for them too. Championship issues throughout the special vehicle classes are evenly poised. For those with championship aspirations, a rich points tally in Lesotho is a must. Already it's Cox and Terstegen and Marsh and Whitehouse who've got a little bit of a steal on Harkis and Trethui, and Hutchison and Bergman also need a win. The Lesotho Sun 400 starts on Friday the 1st of September. To see the scrutineering, be there at 9 o'clock. And on Saturday, the racing starts at 8. Until then, you keep it on the road, we'll keep it off-road.